First, let's go. Let's go. Free account? Nah, no shot. Although I do like that idea. I can bring that up with the team. If you're like number one comment, not the first, but maybe number one in the morning stream. We are a little early. We're going to give it some time to get some people in here. Look around. The market is doing great things this whole week. It's been really the last 2 weeks. It's been doing some great things. We do have Japan PPI coming out, I believe, 5 minutes from now. It already came out. It did no impact at all. Came in 2 basis points lower, so really no major change. You trying to tag Justin to get the free account. Let that man rest. That dude works really, really hard through the day. Gold is looking pretty strong. Right into a head and shoulders. That's tough. That is tough. We are a little early. Just wanted to test the stream. I had some quality issues last night, so hopefully it's good tonight. It shows me it is not excellent. It is on good for whatever reason. And yeah, my internet is very slow right now. What the hell? All right, if I can, whoever's out there, let me know if you are hearing me and I don't sound like a robot. Hopefully, it's not laggy. Appreciate that. I'm gonna check my internet real quick though. So like 300 megabytes. It should be much, much higher than that. I see the problem. Dude, Matt, I don't know how long you've been around Blue Sky. I trade. If it moves, I trade it. I'd say 99% of everybody trades in Q though. I believe I know Coach Becky will dabble with gold, but I probably trade gold more than anyone else. Gold's good money, man. It takes a while to learn to trade, but it is a different beast. All right, I will. My internet has defaulted away from our new 1,000 megabyte internet for whatever reason. Have you never traded gold? I'm assuming, Matt. It's a different beast, man. It is. What's up, Blaskinator? Welcome in. Welcome in. Yeah, I'm gonna see. So for whatever reason, my internet defaulted back to like our 2 hertz. So if this is real choppy and starts to lag, let me know. I'll have to reconnect my internet. And this is way too early in the stream to be making $100. I'm gonna go ahead and exit that trade so we can get some trades for everybody to get in. This is a hell of a candle to follow, so we'll let it retest for a little bit. I'm assuming this is the effect of the Japan PPI coming in. That's quite the pump right there. So we'll give it some time. We'll wait. I'm interested in longs on Qs. Definitely, I was hoping it would get down to about 750. And we'll kind of run over some TA real quick because there's really not much. We've had last 2 nights accumulated. We've had like 120 points, and it mainly revolved around this bottom zone. So like the 4 hour chart really displays the range. Like the 4 hour chart is painting the clearest picture that we are currently range bound. You look at the pump into today, rejected this area up here that's had now 2 clean rejections. You assume when it breaks that high, it's going to be very smooth longs. Until then, price has been really, really inconsistent. You have good opportunities at equal lows. If you're in the middle of price, 2 key areas, 3 key areas, whatever it is, if you're in the middle of those, it's been pretty rough, especially during the New York session. For really the last, I'll say 4 days, you've had this one was news. We knew we had CPI today, PPI tomorrow. You have one measured move, you come back to balance, and then you are just chopping for the remainder of the day. Today's chop started really early and it did not stop all day. You finally formed a base into the close, liquidity diminishes, you find that base consolidation. What you don't want to see from consolidation when you're trying to join that trade is a 50-point Hulk candle, right? That really skews the risk to reward. So we need to give it some time to retest. I think longs are the play until you get back up to about the 930s into some of this prior distribution. Like I would have loved a long from say 800 to take profit at like 893. That's a range that I was targeting tonight. What I really wanted was a pullback to this wick. right there. This liquidity wick to the left at the 750. So tonight we're going to have to be patient. We've had really good trades really quickly all week. We've made crap ton of money. Tonight we are in trouble. We are in trouble. And again, if the quality gets bad, please let me know. I identified the problem. If it does, I'll have to end the stream briefly and then restart it. Reconnect to my 1,000 megabyte internet. I don't know why it went away from that. That makes no sense. All right, we cannot chase. We cannot chase this move. We have to wait. And the markets have a lot of room to run from a percentage perspective. NQ is now currently flat. Gold's only up 0.2%. The market has room for more upside. All right, good deal, Tina. Good deal. My quality still says good instead of excellent, and I know what the problem is now. So if it happens, let me know. And yeah, Matt, when you 25K account, $1,200 drawdown, for the most part, most firms are the same. Probably shouldn't be trading gold. You are correct on that. And if so, you should be trading MGC, maybe 2 contracts max. Like we just made 120 bucks off of 2 contracts. It does not take much to blow your account on gold. And what I advise people, and how I educate people to get into gold, you have to be patient. Really, really take your time to study that beast. And the reason isn't because it's a commodity, right? Comparable to an asset or an index. Futures is the end goal of trading. And most people come to futures because they fail at options. That's typically the path to like trading organic price action, which is the benefit of trading futures. You are trading raw organic price action with no variables against you, right? I compare gold to the SPX options, right? Um, it's no different in my lens of the market. It is very volatile, very aggressive. It'll respect technical analysis so strong, or it'll completely ignore it. And when it ignores it, it gets wonky really, really quickly. All right, and we're gonna have to take some risks tonight. You're looking at a rising 3 from a 50-point engulfing. That's a tough candle to follow. Tonight would be a great opportunity for any questions anybody has as well. I had a feeling tonight would be slow. This is the Japanese PPI. I mean, yes, you have standard Asia liquidity injection. Pretty sure this is a reaction to the PPI. Gold is melting away. Silver is melting away. I haven't looked at oil in a while. I know oil has kind of found that base and hasn't moved. Yeah, oil's still hanging around, which is crazy to me. I figured oil would be back into the 60s by now, but it's not. And we were in the middle of 2 areas, so this is what kind of sucks. with my strategy and I want to be patient, I have a zone up here. I looked at the midpoint, like 760 is the midpoint of the 4 hour. I really, really wanted that midpoint to be able to have better risk. You have some areas here, right? Like you're retesting 4 hour bases of these candles to the left that have broken out, right? Really strong breakouts from right where we're at, like the 860s to the top of this level. But it's also had numerous rejections from that area, right? So price confirmation at this area is important. But when I look at price, it's kind of forming that bullish two-legged pattern, right? You have the curl, you have the secondary support hold of that support that we played. Looks like a two-legged move for more upside continuation. You can try some risky shorts. It seems logical. You could keep it really tight because it's right at that inflection point for it to like make a choice. But it's kind of more of like a YOLO trade. So I'm gonna try a couple shorts and I'm gonna see if we can get a retest. This is not logical, but I'm gonna try just to get out here. See if we can get something. See if we can make a miracle happen tonight. For me to go long, I at least need 842, which I do not like. I have a Camarilla level there. You have some, you have a decent structure here from the candles to the left, but I still don't like that area. Not the 842s. We can maybe start attempting at the 830s. We'll see. We'll see if we can take a short to the 830s would be ideal and then flip that bias to the long there. If it rips, not going to be surprised either. We in for some pain tonight. I thought it would be chop pain, but this is really, really skewed the chart for now. I'm going to add one more short as well. Keep it to 3. I'm not going to go above that 3. This looks like a bullish breakout's about to occur, but you're right at that resistance. I would love a pullback to flip that bias. One thing, we kind of just jumped into it, got my thing, and get out there and hope everybody had a good day, not just in trading, but in life. That is the most important thing. Hope you guys killed it today. Hopefully you were productive and made a meaningful difference, whether in your life or somebody else's. If you didn't, no harm, no foul, right? You have another opportunity to do it again tomorrow. That's the beauty of still being alive. You can do it again tomorrow. Try again tomorrow. Yeah, I think this thing breaks out. It gave you the reaction at it. Hopefully, the extension isn't too high. I'm debating and putting a hard stop above the 64s to keep it tight, but that's a little too tight for me. I would love to assume this is too high, too quick on gold, and potential to get a short back down. But the momentum on gold has been insane. This is a clean equal low opportunity right here on gold. Very identifiable W pattern. So till you get a close under that neckline, you cannot really consider it. Breeze, what's up, big dog? What's up, Jay Money? Justin in the house. Somebody up above was already trying to tag you and ask for some free accounts for being the first comment. It's like, what we could do in the New York sessions is whoever's the number one commenter that's not staff, maybe we could do something like that. I think it's a good idea. And we are not looking for much on this short, guys. As I mentioned, I think the trend is long. They're making it tough, and I use the word trend with a small grain of salt, right? We're not looking for much from a pullback, and I don't trust this trade. I can only feel comfortable, even this zone that I created here. I still would not be comfortable buying longs here, but I think it's a good retest area to start that conversation. But this candle skews price pretty significantly. All right, team. I took a 10-point trim there on the NASDAQ. Not much money. Trimmed out for the second one there for, I don't know, 18 points or something. I'm only looking for 20 points max on this trade. We already hit a good gold trade. We'll see if we can get it, and then we can reassess price. I want to get in longs. I wanted the 750 position, or even like back into this chop base. Like, this is good risk to reward, better risk to reward, right? You go long attempting the breakout that we put on the 4-hour, or that we identified as like a 4-hour base, which the 4-hour is ugly. Everything about the chart for the last 2 weeks is not ideal, right? I would like, this is the base area right here to the left from August 5th. Like, this is kind of make or break. If it closes above that area, you assume breakout to some of these upper wicks to the left, and realistically back to the zone at like 930s. If it stays below, I see, like I mentioned, I see price larger time frame. It's formed two-legged move. Like, when it formed this base right here, it's formed a two-legged move for bullish sequences, right? Bullish price action. But I would love for price to come back to the baseline, back to this mid-range of that chop. I don't want a preemptive a breakout at an area where it's had 5 rejections from. So we do need to be cautious of that area tonight. Well, there you go, Matt. If you're still in here, they got some things brewing. I'm pretty sure we hit 100 people in New York. I've seen it, I think, twice. So shout out to Mike and the team in the morning for killing it. That is a very low amount of views for the amount of heat that is dropped in the morning. I would personally, I want to see that at 1,000 easily. Morados, what's up, big dog? Market profile. I don't know, Morados. I've been teaching people in this game for a very, very long time. Market profile, TPO, time price opportunity, has its time and place, is what I'll say. But I gravitate anyone who is studying market profile to learn volume profile trading, to learn volume at price trading comparable to price time trading. They both paint the same picture, identical story. When you really break down the concepts of what the profile is and what the TPO is trying to guide you to, the TPO is just building blocks of time that it's consolidated at price. To me, that's not any different than the zones that I build, right? Like here, for example, I see this variable. I know, and there is certain meanings. I studied it. I traded it for years. It's called alphabet trading, right? The TPO is alphabetical trading. And there are certain sequences that you can develop an edge for, but most traders cannot grasp that. And if you can, phenomenal. Just don't get lost in the weeds, right? Don't get lost in the weeds looking for the trees when there's much more simple strategies that paint the exact same picture. I traded the profile, market profile for 2 or 3 years. As you guys know, I've been doing this forever. There isn't a strategy I haven't dipped my toes into. Um, it's good. It is an edge. It is a definable edge, but the majority of retail cannot grasp the alphabetical sequences that TPO is meant to be traded. So if you can learn that, you can get comfortable with it. You can learn to mesh that with price action. It'll work for you. But I prefer to keep things so simple. And as you evolve in this game, I think you'll prefer the same. You'll go back to the simplicity of the charts. So I don't when TPO, you don't focus on levels. You know, like you're focusing on you can trade prior day TPO. TPO's 30-minute blocks, and you'll build sequences of the 30-minute blocks. And I'm trying to remember the alphabetical sequence. I'll probably have to do a class on this and go back and look through my documents. But you'll have a TPO block that's cleared, right? You know that that was pent up liquidity that's been there for 30-minute block. You may build another block that's in the same range, and that continues. When your biggest block is broken, you will see volume surges from it. If you can get it in that block break, that's how you play TPO. You get it in the retest, it's no different than holding a volume profile, high volume node, right? And I think aesthetics, when you're trading in simplicity, and I'm not talking down the strategy, I traded it for 2 years. It's an effective strategy. It's just most people confuse it and really pull themselves away from profitability by trying to overanalyze. So there's such things as analysis paralysis, right? And we get that all the time in the market. And I think TPO, at least from my experience and the way I used to guide my students, it really creates analysis paralysis. I mean, yeah, Morados, I would say you're playing it the way it shouldn't be played, to be honest. But if it works, that's your edge within that strategy. If you're just trading the buy area breaks, trade the profile. There's no difference between the two. One is based off of time, and the other is based off of volume, right? Volume accumulation. So which is more important? The areas that the price was pent up in the market or the areas where the liquidity is actually in the market? That's something I ask myself to really lean onto the profile strategy as like my main go-to strategy. But it's not meant when you're trading TPO, you're trading blocks of time at price. You're not trading the areas, if that makes sense. That's the way it's meant to be traded. If you're looking and you're trying to be a value area trader, use the profile, use floor pivots or any form of other pivots, and you'll get the same outcome. And gold, man, we would be up 20 points on gold. Gold is absolutely ripping face right now. Even this secondary retest went up 20 points higher, basically. That's gold is on fire tonight. And it did. It went back down to the 840s on the NASDAQ, which is a Canada. I still don't want to buy there. That's the only thing. Like I'm trying to think of high probability, and I don't know if we see it. If you weren't in at the bottom of these 800s in this base, excuse me, I don't believe probability is going to be on your side. What's up? What's up, big dog? Believe that's Eric. Think so. Think so. I've been here. I took vacation and then I did have to take a couple, like 2 personal days a couple weeks ago, but I've been here. We've been here every night. We made some damn good money this week. Trade for fun. Okay, there you go. I'm trying to remember Eric's name. I think it's like Holster or some crap. So I saw the end of yours. But what's up, brother? Hope you've been killing it. We're here. We're here every night. 7 p.m. Central to 8 p.m. Central. And I love to say Central to piss off all the people who the market revolves around Eastern time. And I'm like, bro, you just need to conform to Central. Dude, I saw, man. I saw you in Greece. That is amazing. That is amazing. I've never been there. We've been to Spain and some other places over there, but I've never been to Greece. Everything is a reversion risky set tonight, like for sure. We'll see if we can get down here to the 30s. This is not a strong zone. I want to clarify on the Nasdaq. This is not a strong zone. The stronger zones are much lower or much higher, and they are much wider as well. Because I'm basing it off of the 4 hour. So it's like a 100 point zone to the top, 100 point zone to the bottom. We abused this lower zone. This is how we've made all of our money off of this bottom area this week, and then secondary retest of like midpoint zones, right? Tonight we don't have any of that here, but it's pretty far to the downside. It's like right here, you have 2 layered zones that you could add into, which I want to. This is my trade bias. I don't want to short this. The 4 hour resistance level, you're getting the reaction, but you're not getting the follow through, right? Like you want to see follow through back down to the 750s. But yeah, trade for fun. Happy you went to Greece. We'll be next March. We'll be going to Alaska. Still got to make it out to Florida. We're looking to move out to Florida. Um, so we were supposed to be there. I don't know. It's probably been 3 weeks to a month from now. We went to Washington State, which is so amazing. If you nobody's ever been, I think it's definitely worth going to Washington State and seeing the scenery there, even Oregon. But seeing the volcanoes and Mount Rainier and the ocean, the wells, the wildlife, the nature is next level. Um, then we hit up some casinos. I'm not a big gambler, but anytime I see a casino, I'm like, yeah, let's go in. Go waste some money, have fun. But we're gonna hit up Florida hopefully before this year ends, because we would like to move next year. Um, and then we're gonna hit up Alaska for our anniversary in March. Alaska sounds cool in theory, is what I'll say. In theory, it seems like a great place to visit. We'll see what happens when we're actually there. I have friends that have went and they like or they've gotten attacked by moose and elk and stuff, and I'm like, that sounds fucking great. That sounds like a great time just to have an elk come and destroy your rental car. All right, guys, I am cutting this trade. I'm cutting this, and I'm flipping my bias, and I'm gonna look to position build down to 830s. So I just want to see. I'm just gonna get out here and get active. We've had two winning trades. I'm gonna see if this can produce something to the 830 mark. I only added two for now. I'm gonna be conservative tonight. The chart is skewed. We've had a great week. We've made money tonight. I'm going to be super conservative for the remaining of the session. If we can get down to the 830s, I would love to position build into 5 and then kind of manage the risk lower. And again, if you're out there, this is when it's slow like this. We've already had some winning trades, man. This is your time to ask any question about anything you need in the market. Anything you may need. All right, I'm going to add one more. We're at that 30 zone, which this zone, again, mentioned, this is based upon current price. The lower ones hold a little more weight to the left, like you have a little more consistency to the left. I am looking for a bullish retest of one of these areas. So it's not high probability. The high probability is down here at 750, which seems very, very far away for now. All right. And I'm gonna stay all in for now. I got 4 contracts, 838. I probably expect slippage to the second zone, and then we'll kind of reassess what we do from there. Good pullback if prices to continue to the upside. If this giant candle is an indication of what we're going to do tonight, and this is the direction the market wants to go into, it's a decent pullback, 30-point pullback. If we break this zone and we get down to like the 820s and that area breaks, then it's a different story because now you're hunting out this consolidation base again. I'm not holding the trade down to that base. I'm not giving back too much of the profits we made. BluSky, you just want to live with me for some reason. I think you just don't like paying bills. You don't like paying rent, man. But who does? Right? You just trying to open all my Pokemon and move in for free. Yeah, gold is just respecting every little key area, and it's bouncing very, very strong from it. And can the Nasdaq? Can we get some damn bangers again? We've been on fire. We've been producing some heat. So can we get some bangers again? Like coming back up to the 50 range would be that would be great. I'm gonna put some trims at like 855, 857 just to see. And then maybe we can attempt a breakout up here. If price holds. It's a big if. Oh, boy, you crazy. You are absolutely insane. That's amazing. I bet you can't cook plastic. Or maybe you can, who knows? All right, this is one of those instances where trading view kind of skews it candle wise. Like, yeah, that was a 20-point upside win. This is turning to be currently a very bearish candle. We're not in any concerns for the trade where the range has tightened, but that is a very bearish candle. It's gonna have to close back above like 844, this midpoint right there. That kind of starts the conversation for us getting another 20 points, and then shit, I'll be happy. I'll be happy with tonight. That would be 40 points or whatever on the Nasdaq and 10 on gold. Dude, gold is going ham right now. Jesus Christ. Gold is going be ballistic back to 4,500. It is going nuts. We started out the session, gold was only 0.2% up. Thing is going wild right now. Very, very clean curl into two-legged move, and now it's in a parabolic state right back to 4,500. There's nothing you can do here. I wish we could have kept our longs here. We took 10 points. I'm not touching that. We'll see if the Nasdaq gets some follow through. As it really shouldn't. If gold's pumping like that, that lets you know cash flow is going into gold, right? I don't think we see another candle like this on the Nasdaq. Never count the Nasdaq out for sure. But looks like all eyes are on gold tonight. And yeah, man, I hope everybody didn't die today trading this or the New York session prior. You've had some really, really, really tough price action. And somehow in the after hours, we have been finding very strategic entries to make really good money in the Asia session. And as mentioned, when the New York session isn't producing 1,000 points, 500 point days, this is where the Asia session really, really is so good. It makes sense to be trading the Asia session. All right, and for entertainment purposes only, for entertainment, I'm gonna go short on gold. I'm gonna see if we can get a 10-point pullback on gold for literally no reason at all. Other than the fact it is extremely extended, I'm gonna say 4,500 is the most important number on gold right now, which it is. And we'll see if we can get a pullback from it. Coming back down to the 84s is not even close to being realistic. And I'm gonna add one more just to make my time worth it. Kind of tighten that up realistically too. Look for about a 5-point pullback on gold. Super risky, entertainment purposes only. I am not an entertainer, just to be clear. Trader with one job to make you some money. When I say entertainment purposes only, that shit is risky. That means that trade is like the lowest confidence. I'm just doing a YOLO to see. That's a crazy candle. Crazy candle on gold. 83 to 45. 4509. That's in one bar. This is the old gold that we're seeing. And I am happy as hell to see it. All right, Nasdaq is still literally doing nothing. You look at the 3 minute, it now looks like a 30-minute chart. Had potential breakout. Now we're basing here, which is okay. I mean, it kind of means that the support that we drew from relevant price, definitely not the strongest, but it means that we read it correctly, at least to give us an opportunity to buy that pullback. And we are up $8 on gold. This is where BluSky would be taking profit. And yeah, the Nasdaq is struggling with basic price patterns. It must close above that 45 that I have mapped out there. It just, I don't even want to say projection because we're only in a 7 point range right now. Like, but it fell that high right there. Fell that neckline. Is what I'll say. Temporary fell, not a rejection. We'll see what it does. Mention this. I'm gonna have to start bringing some. I'm gonna prep. Be prepared with some educational material when price gets like this, just so we can completely pivot comparable to like tr- trying to squeeze something out when it's not there. We've had two good trades. Maybe this turns into something. We did produce basically 20 points from that area. Too quick though, too quick to take profit. Price has been painful. There goes gold. Gold is probably going to form a 3 bar, I'd imagine. That's an insane 15-minute chart. Holy crap. That's an even more insane 30-minute chart. This thing is on a path right to this top, right back to that 4,500 retest. Then you start to look left. Now you're touching price from June. So it's really make or break on gold if we come back to these upper areas, which I wanted to do. I mean, I love when gold is active and it's behaving the way it should. Like we have this key area, equal low opportunity. This shit's insane. Like this is an insane melt up on gold. All right, can we get the close over 45s? Like this is insanity. Insane. Yeah, gold's too strong. It's way too strong right now. Jesus. Just brutal. We're we're not even in a 10-point range. We're in like a 7-point range. It's insanity. All right, I'm gonna put some very small profit taking targets here on gold. Look for like 3 points and then be done. If it even get there, I'm not too sure it will. I think gold it's going to kind of play around this 4,500 level, and then it's going to absolutely rip to the upside. It's going to bait as many people as they can here for a pullback, and then it's going to absolutely rip up to the upside. And you see what it's capable of. This is 20-point candle right here. On gold. All right. I took one off for 5 points up here, or like 8 points, excuse me. I took one off already. I trimmed one. This is painful to trade. See if we can get the close above 45 where we're at now, and then get the continuation about 10 more point upside, and then I'll be happy with that as a trade. And we are winning. We've not taken a losing trade tonight. This is just not what I envisioned for the night. We've made money, but not as much as I would. All right, let's go, NASDAQ. 10 more points. 10 more points. In gold, I'm literally just looking for a 3-point pullback to get out of this trade. Make like 40 bucks on this trade and just be done. All right, there we go. I'm taking out of the gold, so W nonetheless. And now it'll probably drip all the way down back to 44.78 since we're out of the trade. So the Morados, the way I'll word it, for the most simplistic way to view it, which this is so far overextended on gold. Like I want you to put that into account first, right? You are getting a reaction here, but when you build these areas, right, you have what looks like resistance. And this candle kind of changed. It literally died 10 points right after I exited the trade, right? This is resistance up here, you can say. Right? You have an area that's produced an area and it's resisting more upside, but it's also using this as support, or it was. Consolidation at resistance is bullish until you get a break to this area, which it did right after we exited the trade. Your assumption is, and you'll see it all the times if you start to really look at it, the way the market behaves at resistance. You'll see consolidation at resistance that dates people in to short it, and then they rip it to the upside. What kind of skews this on gold is this thing's already ran 50, 60 points, right? You expect reversion. Like you expect a pullback, at least to some base to be able to get an entry in. For buyers to reposition and give their full position sizing an opportunity to get filled. But if you don't see this type of extension and you see price consolidating at resistance, you assume a bullish breakout's coming. Until you see like a candle that solidifies that area as resistance. I don't think you short gold because of this reaction. There's a few things you have to quantify to do so. One, completely, this is not a trend. This what we're looking at on gold, the early portions of price. This is a trend. This is a parabolic breakout. Right? So you expect to see pullbacks and more continuation when you're in a parabolic breakout comparable to a trend. So although you have this candle that looks like a minor break of structure from this resistance, you got to quantify in that you're playing with absolute fire. If you see a 20-point bullish candle, especially on gold, that's not your time to try to counter trend that. You wait for the pullback. Hopefully that answered your question, Wise. I hope I'm reading your question properly. You do have to factor in a few things comparable to just saying like, hey, I see consolidation at resistance. I'm gonna go long and preemptive that breakout. The measured move that it takes to get there does matter. Like when I saw this candle, right, we went 60 points basically right when Asia opened. That skews everything for tonight. We must be aware, like, okay, this is an anomaly in price. This is not normal. So when you see that, that's your indication that you can no longer be aggressive. Maybe you came in with the mindset to make $500 for the night, or you were a couple $100 away from a payout, so on and so on. When you see stuff like this, you see gold doing a parabolic melt up, like, yeah, your expectations have to shift for the night. You must be able to read the market condition and tweak your emotional and your strategy with it. And yeah, what I'm seeing on the NASDAQ is super annoying because at the midpoint, it closed above and it came right back to that area. So we are chopping. Gold was a YOLO, so I'm not mad that it dipped points from that short. It is what it is. Shit, Blasky, we're about to cut this one short just because of that. We had a good night tonight, but we were not miracle workers. Like I've been crushing since I came back from vacation. Maybe I made 200 and some bucks tonight. I typically want to, excuse me, target at least at minimum to get my payouts 300 bucks. Like minimum, I want to get 300 to 500 bucks a night. I'm okay with making 100 every now and then, but if I can hit my payout profit target in Asia, I don't trade the next day. Like I don't trade futures. I may trade options. or like do some different things with my portfolio. But if I can hit 300 to 400 bucks in Asia, I typically trade the next day. That would have been a good short on gold. That is a woulda, coulda, shoulda on that one. But yes, Blasky, I will miss you too, man. Good news. You'll see me again tomorrow. I got to buy new blue lens glasses, though. I broke mine. I stepped on them and crumbled them. Like, I don't even know how that happened, but it did. So if you see me rubbing my eyes because I spend too much time on a screen already, golly, what a painful night on the NASDAQ. What a crazy front run move from the 800s to do literally nothing. We went from one chop zone right back to a different chop zone. This has kind of been the NASDAQ all week. My hopes are PPI comes in. I don't give two craps what the numbers are. I'm not an economicist. I don't care about economics revolving around the market. I don't think it's that important. That's just my personal state. You'll see the greatest numbers in earnings, then you'll see a dump within that stock. You'll see CPI be so bad, and then the market pump. All of that is mumbo jumbo to me. I care about technical analysis. And my hopes are when those red packets are over, we see better price action next week. There's really not too many things to look forward to anymore in the market. So the market will find a path, and it'll hold true to that path as well. Or we just shop. And one thing I talk about, which I haven't brought up in a while, a lot of this chop that you see, this is from the options market. They are literally taking those option contracts and killing them both sides to generate their money. So good time to get into options and chop for different strategies, but it's not always a macro or geopolitical driver or chop. They're literally just obliterating option contracts, and then we'll see them move. Man, very healthy pullback on gold. Like very. Almost back to VWAP. I think it's worth the risk. Like I mentioned with the 78s, and I was joking. When I exited the trade, like hey, it's going to the 78s. If it does, I think it's worth the risk to go long. I really do. You need price to kind of show it, but I have three levels here from 78 to 75. So potential to do something. I did get trimmed out on the NASDAQ and team. I am exiting this trade. We made some money tonight. This was rough, but we went 3 for 3 or 4 for 4 tonight within the mix, so I'll take it. All right, team. I'm leaving, big dog. I got to go spend some time with the wife. Same time, same place tomorrow. As always, y'all are the best part of my day. Remember, and I mentioned this so many times, we were almost getting to 30 people here overnight. We may hit 15 max now. Use this as an opportunity to take advantage of my 20 years of trading experience. Like, it's insane to me how many people don't just bug the crap out of me with endless questions because I will spend this entire stream helping you reach your goals. So keep that in mind. I bring it up. I know we're a reserved group, but I just want to ensure I'm doing my part to know that I'm here to support you. That is not the emote I meant to send, but we will end it on that note. As always, team, if you got someone you love, let them know. You're here today, you're gone tomorrow. Life is short. Take advantage of your time. Peace.